Do you feel you start to get that bit of consistency you were looking for, particularly being more clinical, which you weren't earlier in the season?
Yeah, but you didn't believe me, all. But when you, no one. I've seen all your briefing. hey, but
that clip was from Erik Ten Hag's interview after the West Ham game, 3-0 win, saying to all the journalists, "You didn't believe me. You gave me no room for manoeuvre with injuries." And no one really did. And a lot of United fans didn't as well. Is Erik Ten Hag the definite manager for United next season? Nope. Do I think he's got a chance to prove himself between now and the end of the season? Yes, I think he does. Has he started that well? Yes. And I want to run through what we've seen so far this season, what we've seen in these last 2-3 games, and why now has to be the time where consistency comes. And that's the one thing that has eluded Ten Hag pretty much his entire time as United boss. And let's be honest, right? This season so far has been absolutely garbage. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I hate to be the one to remind you of this, but going through the entire season, we probably should have not got 3 points against Wolves. We lost against Spurs the week after. We came back from 2-0 down to beat Forest. That was good enough. Then we lost 3-1 to Arsenal. Then we lost 3-1 to Brighton. Then we just about beat Burnley. Then we beat Palace in the League Cup. And then we lose in the league. We need 2 McTominay late winners there. We get out, we beat Sheffield United. So that, never mind. We'll lose against City and then Newcastle in the League Cup a couple of days later. Then we got a little bit of, momentum. 2 wins in a row. Never mind. We'll lose 3-0 to Everton and Newcastle. We'll lose as well. Don't worry, we'll beat Chelsea and then we'll lose. You see the point here. Anyway, this is supposed to be a positive video. But Erik Ten Hag has been speaking about the injuries and no one really wants to sort of speak about the elephant in the room. But it has impacted us. Martinez's injury in particular. I'll speak about what happened in the West Ham game. But since the start of this year, Manchester United are undefeated. Beating Wigan in the FA Cup, beating Newport in the FA Cup. There might not have been vintage performances, but their wins drawing against Spurs, it wasn't vintage either. But these last 2 games are where things have started to change and why I want to speak about the consistency which is now required from Erik Ten Hag. It's a necessity. But before I quickly move on, I want to say this. Big shout out to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. And I'll tell you what, this integration feels like a pretty natural one to me. If you ever just want to eat, healthy meals, but you don't have time, that's where HelloFresh steps in. Delivered to your doorstep, fresh food, recipes, portions all laid out. If you're busy, like me, making top quality content, if I may add, sometimes. But anyway, if you're busy like me, HelloFresh is there to help you. And if you do get your first box by using the link in the description or this QR code here, there's over 40 recipes you can choose from. You definitely won't be choosing the same 2 meals twice. I got my first box this week. I went for a Caribbean spiced barbecue pork fried rice. Man, chef, content creator, is there anything I can't do? Yeah, there's quite a lot I can't do actually. Might actually start a cooking channel. I watched The Bear. Yeah, chef. Anyway, I would encourage you to get your own box. Get involved with HelloFresh. Now, with United People CV, you can get 60% off your first box, 20% off for the next 2 months, and you get free gifts as well. The QR code is here. The link is in the description. I've used it. I'd recommend it. As I said, it combines convenience with quality. Fresh food on your doorstep. Give it a try. And moving back to the football, as I said, this last week has given us United fans some real positivity. Genuine. Kobbie Mainoo doing that goal, that celebration against Wolves. But it was the overall performance against Wolves. Best 45 minutes of the season so far. Did we let it slip out of our control? Yes. Was our game management poor? Yes. Did we win? Yes. And that's where that game against West Ham, it felt a little bit different. So often, the word control, that's one of Ten Hag's buzzwords. And hardly at any point this season have we had control. And West Ham felt a little bit more measured. It might not have been as blisteringly fast as a lot of United fans would have wanted. They want to see United 2-0 up within 10 minutes and to breeze the game. You're never going to get that against a West Ham team that sits with the back 5, sits very deep and sits on the counter. But it worked. It was measured. We got the second goal. We got the third goal. Old Trafford just enjoyed itself. And with that photo there, it's a really iconic photo. I think it will be. I hope it will be for years to come. 21-year-old Højlund, 19-year-old Garnacho, and 18-year-old Mainoo. The future is bright. But now we can start looking to the present as being bright. And all season long, I'm going to run through some players now when it comes to form, when it comes to injuries, where it just hasn't been working for United. Rasmus Højlund coming to the club injured with a back injury. going into a bit of a dysfunctional team, playing with players who aren't used to playing with a number 9, not giving him any service, and he was struggling with confidence. Whereas now, he becomes the youngest striker ever for Manchester United to score in 4 Premier League games in a row. And that's because the team has been supporting, maybe not supporting him in terms of actually finding him on the pitch, but they've clearly been working together in training. And I think it's only going to keep getting better and better. And Garnacho, he's probably been one of the only kind of shining lights all season long, really. I think his development has been fantastic this year. And I'm actually probably going to do a video on it this week because Garnacho on the right wing has kind of been a revelation. And you can see different elements to his game coming through. Now, Ten Hag's actually said that he prefers to play on the left. I don't think that's going to be the case for too long. I think Garnacho's going to realise that he can score. As we can see, I think he scored 4 goals in 5 starts on the right-hand side. He can score goals from the right, but he can offer so much more. He's got that unpredictability about him. But Garnacho finding the back of the net. You've got Højlund finding the back of the net. You've got Kobbie Mainoo, who was a player that we went into this season with him in mind to start in midfield, and he's been missing for the entire season. And he walked off to a standing ovation against West Ham, having scored his he scored his first Man United goal against Newport, then his first Premier League goal against Wolves, and then he got a standing ovation after 60 minutes there. Ten Hag managing his progress through the team brilliantly. But they are 3 players there. Garnacho, who's been misfiring, but actually one of the better ones. Højlund, who hadn't been able to find the back of the net. Mainoo, who had been injured. Marcus Rashford, who, let's be honest, his head seemed out of the game from United, kind of majority of this season. His return has been there in these last few games. I think there's still a lot more to come from Marcus Rashford's performances. We've had Andre Onana, who's come in with a massive amount of expectation that comes when you sign. Rarely do United sign players who, in my opinion, are in like top 5 in the world in their category. And I personally think Onana was kind of in that ballpark when we signed him from Inter, from the Champions League finalists after the season he had. I think he was certainly in the top 10, maybe in the top 5. But he came to United and has massively struggled, especially in the Champions League. That's where he almost single-handedly sort of crashed us out of that competition with individual mistakes that he caused. But he's now got 7 clean sheets, I think, so far this season. And when United play in a more measured fashion like we did against West Ham, you will see better performances from Andre Onana. Now, Ten Hag has been speaking about all of this for a long time. Now, you didn't believe me. And the proof is in the pudding, of course, and the proof is in the performances. Actions speak louder than words. Now, I just hope that this here, it's not a hope thing. As I said, it's a necessity thing for Erik Ten Hag. Do I want him to be successful? Yeah, I really, really do. I want him to get this United team flowing in the same way that he got 2 Ajax teams flowing. Are we some way off it? Yeah, I do think we are. Do I think it's going to be the exact same? No, but I do think there's going to be principles that carry between the two. We'll be our own version of it. But we've got Ratcliffe and INEOS sitting at the club. Not sitting now. They're the opposite of what they're doing. They're not sitting down. They're not standing still. Big, sweeping changes happening at every level of our football club. And Erik Ten Hag will know that those 2 wins against Wolves and West Ham, they have to be the beginning of the consistency. And of course, Lisandro Martinez gets Kufal sitting on his knee, completely unrelated to the metatarsal, a freak accident, happened to the player who, let's be honest, is the most important player in this squad. Now, I like to think that we've got Luke Shaw fit now, so the reason it was so catastrophic last time was because Martinez was injured and Shaw was injured, and we didn't have anybody who could play that left centre-back role. Shaw will likely have to step into that position again, and I don't know, maybe it brings Dalot back to the left-back spot and Wan-Bissaka, but I think Malacia is back in training. I'm hoping that we will be able to cope with it better than we did last time, but as Garnacho says here, the momentum is everything. And it's going to be this defining moment here in these next, Aston Villa next, right? We're 8 points off 4th and Villa are in 4th. Win that, we're 5 points off. Lose that, we're 11 points off. You can do the maths as well. Consistency is the one thing that has eluded Erik Ten Hag throughout his entire... I think so far this season, I can go back to these results here, right? Not that one there. You can go back to these results. Look, we beat Chelsea, but then we lose to Bournemouth. We go down here. We beat Everton, but then the next game we lose to Newcastle. That's what United have done. Yo-yo, up and down. Great, crap. Average, more average, crap, great, brilliant, terrible, up and down. We've won 2 games in a row now, and that win against West Ham was the best one. Scoring a last-minute winner is probably the greatest drug in football. But seeing a team control a game of football, a United team do that at Old Trafford, that was enjoyable. And for Erik Ten Hag to be Manchester United manager next season, he has to deliver on this. And I think, yeah, he's been proven correct. We are significantly better with our first-team players back. But now, Erik, prove those extra doubt, not extra doubt is wrong, but all of us United fans will agree that the consistency has never been there. Show us in the next 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, that we can do it week in, week out. That we won't just regress against Aston Villa and turn into the same team that's been sort of delivering all the bang average performances this season. Please. Because if that is the only way that Ratcliffe and INEOS will look at Ten Hag and give him an opportunity, or even just think about giving him an opportunity next season. If we can't find that consistency now, then Ten Hag will be replaced in the summer. And he may not see the season out. But it's all on the performances, and it's all on Erik Ten Hag. I want you to let me know what you think in the comments below. But yeah, it's nice to enjoy a game of football, isn't it?